Good evening. We're with the International Dyslexia Association Oregon branch. We are here tonight to celebrate our student panel this month. So we're going to be hearing from another one of our student panel members here shortly. Lucy's going to be joining us and excited to share her recent work as well as get an update from her on the year. If you have questions tonight, please drop us a line. You can also email us at the branch, International Dyslexia Association Oregon branch, and we'll be happy to answer your questions there. So I think we got Lucy coming on here. Hey,
Hi. I'm gonna
how,
turn it real quick.
take your time.
There we go.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. So maybe can you just start with like a quick background and update on how your year is going?
Um, I'm Lucy. Hi. I am going into my senior year of high school coming August or whenever it is then nowadays. Um, I was diagnosed with dyslexia in third or second grade. And junior year, as expected, was like the hardest year I've ever had in school. So I'm very much looking forward to senior year.
That's fair. Can you maybe describe like what some of the challenges of, I mean, I know with COVID and being, but like for you specifically, what were maybe some of the harder points for the year?
Well, mainly I think it was a lot of the workload, like obviously with COVID, everything like for me takes longer because
Sure.
there's like this kind of thing where everything's homework, and homework just inherently takes longer than being in a class while listening to a teacher. Like doing work alongside other students, I'm going to get stuff done faster than I'm going to at home by myself. And so when you have that, on top of the fact that just with junior year, all your teachers are giving a lot more assignments, especially because I go to a IB school sort of
Okay.
thing where they make you go into IB classes because that's just the next level up with like biology. It's technically an IB class. So with that, it's like an extra layer on top of that.
Yeah, so you're getting like a higher, you're at a higher level in education, and on top of that, you're getting more work, probably because of that, as well as it being junior year. It's just natural progression. And then you're adjusting to this whole online format. What were some of the things you did to help yourself? Like, what did you find? Did you develop strategies that you were able to kind of
I think
operate with?
I think so. I guess I didn't really schedule a time, but when I sat down and like did work, I would do like all of my different works, and I had like a specific place that wasn't in my room. Like I used my mom's desk whenever I had to do work, and like that one has another computer, so I had like dual monitors trying to do three assignments at the same time. And like it almost worked better when I gave myself like this is when I have to stop with it. Like for example, I would do it right before dinner or right before I went to bed. So it's like this is just hard because I'm usually good with like going to sleep at a decent time. So it's like
Good.
the hard cutoff or even before class starts.
So
Because
kind of like limiting your time of like, hey, I'm gonna give myself 2 hours and that's it. That's all. I'm gonna push for 2 hours and then cold turkey. That's it.
exactly.
What that's an interesting strategy to develop. Because I think students with dyslexia, and I'd love your opinion on this. Like I remember myself, like you can kind of like push yourself to try to go is until the assignment's done, or like you feel that need to get it done, but there is a limit of like how focused you can stay or how the quality of work and the importance of rest or setting those boundaries. Was that, do you think that's true for you as well?
I'd say so. And I guess my mom says I'm a perfectionist sometimes. I don't completely agree with that, but like I will spend like hours and hours just editing an essay. Editing's hard enough. Editing. But it's like giving myself a hard stopping period, because like everything goes faster when you have prep time kind of stuff. So it's like I would, because of the uh small amount of time I have, I would have to like think smarter, not harder, sort of
Yeah.
thing, where it's like, okay, I need to, for my essay, I need to write out all my little steps and then do it, just so I know how much time each thing's gonna take me.
Oh, that's brilliant. What what advice would you give other students that maybe are like not at that point or like kind of still in like how can they start to think about this?
I mean, take breaks, but also, like mental breaks are just the best with everything, because if you just burn yourself out over 4 hours compared to if you do 5 hours all along the day, you're gonna be more productive, and you're not gonna be like, your brain's not gonna be as exhausted, right?
Yeah.
And then with the just like prep work, and like especially with writing an essay, because that's where I'm the worst at. Like
Yeah.
I would all
Same.
now at every essay I always write, what's my hook, what's my introduction, what's my, like all the little steps inside each thing, like what is it, the P's thing, the, what is it, point, topic, not point, topic, yeah.
Yeah, but like the point, the topic, the example, or like the example, and
I
then
think the point, how do you spell P's?
yeah,
Point, evidence, analysis,
yes.
so what? That's what it
Okay,
is.
you,
Yeah.
yeah, we're
It's like
figuring
I
this
have to
out
write
on the.
that out now. And
Yeah,
so because I write that out, it's like, well, you're already almost giving yourself a weird prompt. Regardless of what your topic is, you have a prompt for that topic.
I think it's just so it's organized and it's really methodical and like planned out, and I think that that works really well. And I think parents can like maybe help their students that aren't there yet with their time management, right? Like say, hey, work on this for an hour and then let's have breakfast or let's get ready for, so they can kind of help maybe break up the day for their students
Yeah.
and get that because once you get it, it sounds like you have it nailed down now. Like you're in rhythm.
Well, I find myself writing the whole essay split up. So
Yeah.
what'll happen is I'll write the point, the evidence, the analysis, and the so what, and then I'm like, well, the, it it's already done. So I'll copy and paste that into a document, and there you go.
It's
Like,
amazing.
you just delete the prompts.
So school aside, what are you doing for your, have you scheduled a mental break for yourself? Are you doing anything fun this summer? Are you getting away from it? Are you in tutoring? What does your summer look like?
My summer mostly just looks like me sitting in my room drawing, but I guess my normal school year consists of that too. I guess I'm gonna try to get out more now that stuff is opening up and things like that. And I mean, yeah, I'm definitely like giving myself, like, I'm kind of at that age where I should be getting a job and stuff like that, but I'm also thinking about that, and I'm like, well, maybe I should just have my summer, and I don't need to pay for like gas for a car. I don't have a car. Like, just kind of giving myself that break. It's like, you don't need to get a job quite yet. Like, let yourself breathe a little.
I like that. I like that. I think we know what we need for our bodies, our minds, and so to have that understanding for yourself and to maybe just get away from it all a little bit probably sounds like the right move for you.
Yeah.
But with your drawing, you've kind of come up with an interesting project. I don't know how much you're comfortable sharing with the audience, but I was wondering if you could maybe talk about your recent endeavor.
Oh, absolutely. So, well, we were given this like prompt kind of thing, where it was like, just create something that's like your best self kind of stuff. And I was like, well, one of my favorite things is like superheroes and comic books and things like that. So I'm like, well, why don't I draw myself? And so like I drew myself as this like superhero. I'm like, well, how can I relate this to dyslexia specifically? And so I was thinking of all these like what like would a superhero dyslexia thing be, and I've kind of just like thought of different ways to like kind of not deal with problems, but when part of the reason I love escapist media is it goes so far into escapism that it actually deals with real world issues. Like, and that's like a fun way for me to deal with things. And so, like, with that superhero, it was like, oh, well, it's like red is such a, I love the color red, if you can tell, but it's like it's a really like hard color for people with dyslexia and almost like a traumatizing color.
Sure.
Um, and so it's like, well, what about like someone who reclaims that? Because I really love looking into different ways people have reclaimed certain things, like whether it be words or just narratives. And I think that's like something that's kind of like important for me to like, I don't know, see myself like take charge of.
No, I think that's really cool. And just for the audience members that may not be aware, but the color red for people with dyslexia symbolizes the errors on their paper. So whether it's spelling errors and seeing that red pen that comes from teachers, that can be very daunting in terms of the level of, as we talked earlier, the level of homework that and hours that a student with dyslexia might put into something. I think it's like a 3-to-1 ratio, like 3 hours for a dyslexic student compared to a neurotypical student. So that red pen can be really traumatizing, as Lucy mentioned. So to create this character, and we'll get back to it, that what does that power symbolize?
I'm not like, oh, that's difficult because it's like this thing where it's like I can catch myself before you catch me. Like I'm one step ahead of whoever's critiquing me, whoever's like telling me I'm wrong, I'm one step ahead of you kind of thing. Like I guess it's that. It's like this power in like knowing like just knowing what you need to work on and making yourself better over time with like learning things that you need to work on.
Okay, that gave me chills. That was awesome. Where do you see this character going, and do you have a plan? Is this going to be like, or is it going to be one-offs? Is it going to be a
Well,
storyline?
the prompt for this month, for the I don't know what the word letters are, but the prompt this week, this month was greatest obstacle, and so maybe creating an arch nemesis as a like uh not humanized, but what's the word? Opposite of objectified.
Okay, I got
I
you.
don't know, something like that, but like a like person as my like worst, like my biggest obstacle, creating like a nemesis. So kind of keeping this ongoing characters and different ways that like maybe the month after that it's like how do I overcome this nemesis, right?
Oh, that's cool. So can people is this going to be shared on Dyslexia You Are Not Alone? Is that where we're going
I
to share?
believe so.
Okay. So for people that want to follow this amazing new comic book hero, is that right? Is that the right terminology?
Sure.
All right, we'll go with that. So to follow this, check out at Dyslexia You're Not Alone. That's our Instagram handle at the International Dyslexia Association Oregon branch. Lucy, I want to leave you with one. I think it's amazing that you created this character and the strength that that has, and then all the work you're doing is awesome. So we just wish you the best as you're getting ready for your senior year. But I want to leave you with the last word. Like, what is your message, and what would you like people to know, whether it be from this experience of over the last year or like what you have coming up? What would be your message for educators or students or parents that are maybe just learning about dyslexia?
I guess with students it's kind of like in what we've been talking about. It's like just say out loud what you're struggling with. Like once you like fully just like say what it is, you can like figure out how to work on that and just focus on one thing at a time. Like for me, it's like essays are the main thing. Like I'll work on reading later, but essays are what I need to focus on and learn how to deal with and work with. So it's like finding out that like thing that really like trips you up, or just like what that one thing is, and just like realizing it so you can learn from it.
Oh, that's awesome. It's kind of that state it, claim it, and then break it down and work with it into the sections that you clearly are doing with your essays, and sounds like you're doing with your other projects as well. Lucy, thanks so much for taking time out of your summer. We want you to go have a break. But I think it's really important that people get to hear from our student panel members, because what you do, the advocacy that you bring for other students, and the pathways that you're opening up, and even just giving insights into educators' minds of like, hey, maybe how they could work with the dyslexia population in a more efficient and effective manner. Like, that's huge. So just thank you for all the work you're doing. And again, if you didn't drop us a line tonight, or and you have questions, please reach out to us at the International Dyslexia Association Oregon branch. We're here to help. We have a ton of resources for parents, and we want to be a continual support for this community. So thank you, and you have a great night.
Thank you.